Suppose that x is a discrete random variable that takes on values -7, -4, -1, 2, 5, and 8. Let y be a good approximation for x. Find an expression in terms of y which approximates the probability that x is less than 0. To make this easier, let's draw a number line. Here I've put all the values of our discrete random variable x. We want to calculate the probability that x is less than 0. So let's highlight the values of x where x is less than 0. We have -7, -4, and -1. To approximate them, we need intervals. We need to put an interval around -7, -4, and -1. So interval around -7, -4, and -1. And the important thing is that each of these what are they called? Each of these intervals is width 3. They're the same width. And in order to actually get an expression using the probability of y, we need to know what are the endpoints. But really, we only need to know what the endpoint of the leftmost interval is and what the rightmost endpoint is. So over here, we have -7 minus 3/2 is -8.5. And over here, we have -1 plus 3/2 is 0.5. And so, well, we could write it as, okay, this is going to be the probability that y lives in this interval, plus the probability that y lives in this interval, plus the probability that y lives in this interval. Or we can combine all that and just do the probability that y lives in this entire interval here. And so our answer is the probability that x is less than 0 is approximately the probability that y is greater than -8.5 and less than 0.5. Let's look at part B. We want to find an expression in terms of x which approximates the probability that y is greater than -5.5 and less than 3.5. Again, we can look at a number line. Well, what is the interval that we care about? It's this interval here. So let's highlight that. The important thing here is that this -5.5 and this 3.5, this -5.5 is midway between -7 and -4, and this 3.5 is midway between the 2 and the 5. If that wasn't the case, then we could not use x as it stands to approximate this probability. But because it is the case, we get that the probability that y is greater than -5.5 and less than 3.5 is approximately the probability that x is -4 plus the probability that x is -1 plus the probability that x is 2.